Welcome back to the Vault. Today's video is an update on the status of Jeremy Dewitte's cases currently pending in Orange County and Osceola County. As a reminder, I will go through the charges, schedule, and any updates that might have occurred from the last update video. Now, please like the video, comment down below, and share, and most importantly, subscribe. Once I get to 1,000 followers, I can start purchasing more open records requests, so this is extremely important. Really appreciate everyone's help. And one last thing before we get started, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, even Jeremy Dewitte. So everything regarding the new charges and unproven or unadjudicated crimes are presumed innocent. However, I may refer to crimes that Jeremy has pled guilty to and is legally considered guilty in the eyes of the law. Now, before we get going on the charges, I just want to start just to mention the picture on the screen. This is Jeremy and Rania and their daughter on Christmas. This must be a huge blow to Jennifer, who thinks she's actually going to marry that handsome ginger known as Jeremy Dewitte or Motor One. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's kind of funny. You know, she kind of goes back and forth. I don't know if she has a link to this account that I get it from, but he's clearly spending time with his wife on Christmas. And I think Jennifer's under the assumption that they're together. I don't know if he's doing the whole polygamy thing again. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Now, as a reminder, here are the Orange County charges. There are several felonies that are not currently charged, but they fall in line with the current charges. Charge 1 is a second-degree felony for organizing, planning, or participating in an intentional motor vehicle collision, which is actually on camera thanks to Jer Bear filming everything and never deleting footage. Charge 2 and 3 are third-degree felonies for false and fraudulent vehicle insurance applications. Jeremy had several applications to insurance companies where he claimed his vehicles were for personal use and not commercial use. For example, his insurance policies were all fraudulent since you can't have commercial insurance through Esurance. They only offer personal. Charge 4 is a third-degree felony for false and fraudulent insurance claims where Jeremy is alleged to have used and reused pictures and invoices for damage running up the repair bills. Now, Charge 5 is a third-degree felony for failure to comply with registration requirements for a registered ex-offender. This has to do with Jeremy not putting all his vehicles on the registry. Okay, so the state put forth a motion that was granted by the court allowing the statements made by Jeremy to the troopers investigating the crash to be used in his prosecution. Now, if you know anything about Jeremy, he is kind of the king of self-snitching. Now, for some reason, the defense is not allowed to ask the trooper about how the crash occurred, maybe because it's hearsay, not exactly certain about what's causing that limitation. One thing I find interesting is at the bottom of the decision, it says that they are still conducting depositions. Maybe this is why the case has been delayed so many times. I think they want to gather all the data before they make a plea offer. Based on Jeremy's track record, I would assume that he would end up with a plea bargain for less time than what he deserves. So on the 11th of December 2023, the state filed an amended witness list, which means they're still gathering data and talking to people. Part of me wonders with the updates from Jennifer if Rania has turned on Jeremy and decided to testify, but based on the Christmas pic, who knows if they're just playing nice for family and celebrating Christmas together with their child. It would be extremely damaging to Jeremy's case, so let's stay tuned. Now, I know she has been deposed for this case, but what I don't know is whether or not it was a friendly deposition for Jer Bear or as an adversary. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below by dropping friend or foe. Friend for a friendly deposition, foe for adversarial. Now, before we move on to Osceola County, we need to go over the trial schedule, but there's a lot more going on in Osceola, so buckle up, we've got a lot to go through. Now, as of January 2024, the pretrial conference is set for February 21st, 2024, and this trial is scheduled for March 4th of 2024. So that means we're about 2 months out from the actual trial if it doesn't get delayed again. Since Jeremy is out on bond, I would assume that he will try to delay as long as possible to save up money for his time away. What I don't understand is why Jeremy still has vehicles that look like police cars. In the most recent videos released by Jennifer, Jeremy's cars look exactly like patrol cars. After his last case, he was ordered to liquidate his business, so this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. He needs to kind of move on and stop buying retired police cars. Now that said, the trial date has been changed several times, so I would be more surprised if the trial actually happens in March than if it gets changed. Here are the first two charges. Both charges 1 and 2 are related to not properly registering email addresses as a registered ex-offender. This has to do with Jeremy's YouTube channel, Motor One's Moving. The last video uploaded was about a year ago. This channel only has 6 videos that are currently up. I really wish Jeremy would remove the videos of his daughter though. I have 2 daughters myself and I would never put them on a TikTok channel or my YouTube channel, especially not at such a young age. Now that said, Jeremy is very aware that he needs to register all email addresses and social media accounts since he's been in trouble for this in the past. Plus, he's forced to watch videos and sign documents about the process. He ought to know better, but rules don't apply to Motor One, and as you see, we'll go further. Part of the evidence is actually the video that Jeremy has to watch to verify that he knows how to do this process. Now, here is an overview of all the charges. Now, Osceola has combined the cases, which are a total of 15 felonies. Yikes. Jeremy is assessed as a low to moderate risk, which I assume is based on the fact that his crimes are nonviolent, but who knows how they actually come up with these different classifications. Here are the charges laid out on the second case, which shows charges 1 through 10 as failure to report change in vehicle. Jeremy has done quite a few changes, and some of his vehicles are in fact registered, which means he does in fact know how to do the process, so he can't hide behind that excuse. Charges 11 through 13 are knowingly providing false registration information. This has to do with Jeremy putting information in his wife's name to avoid registration. All of the 13 charges are third-degree felonies. Now, as expected, Osceola County plans to use Jeremy's prior criminal history and convictions against him in his trial. This can serve several purposes. One is proving the truth of the allegations, and another is for sentence enhancements as a habitual offender. This is not good for Jeremy since he has an extensive criminal history and has committed the same crimes over and over. This is what makes me think that Osceola has the best chance of putting Jeremy behind bars for an extended period of time. Plus the fact that they aren't combining cases across jurisdictions like they did in previous cases. He really got off light when they did that in 2021. Alright, so now let's go through the discovery items so we can get a clear picture of what's going on. Part of the discovery is a USB flash drive containing YouTube videos of Jeremy Dewitte, and part of me wonders, whether or not they got any videos from YouTube creators like, PoliceTube or Fraudy. I'm certain they are providing videos from Motor One is Moving channel and probably Jennifer's channel. I hope they managed to get copies of all the videos Jennifer released because we all know how temperamental she can be and throw up a negative video when she feels slighted by Jeremy. Still don't understand why she thinks he's such a prize. She could have faced charges, in my opinion, for participating in fraud. He clearly directs her to call the blank and deny charges on the account that she's not on. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just were going to do it and never did it, but they recorded it on jail calls conspiring to commit fraud, so there's that. Now, the supplemental witness list was filed on August 10th of 2023, which means they have been actively searching out new witnesses to depose. We will see some of the names come up as we move on. Here is the second page. It shows they are getting statements, written and oral records, tangible papers belonging to Jeremy, which I gather have to do with the insurance and registration and whatever they managed to find during the execution of the warrant, electronic surveillance of the premises belonging to Jeremy, and I'm wondering if this only relates to Jeremy's home video system or if the police were watching him closely. And also documents pertaining to any search and seizure, which we mentioned before, which could be in the cars or in his home. Tangible papers not belonging to the defendant, which is most likely coming from the DMV, insurance companies based on the previous discovery. Then lastly, tangible papers or objects that could be tested for DNA, really sure what that's about, but whatever. Now, on to the next page, they basically go over how to obtain copies of the documents and the type of evidence available. This is more or less just covering themselves for any type of Brady violation so they can't accuse the state of withholding evidence. Now, this last page is the most interesting to me. They've gathered copies of Orange County and Osceola County jail calls and any video visitation recordings. If you followed this case for more than 5 minutes, you would know that Jeremy and Jennifer have a long history of just openly talking about their crimes on jail calls. And what I don't understand is why they haven't used these against them before. There is clear witness tampering, which is a felony. Now, if YouTube can figure it out, then the state's attorney should be able to figure it out as well. Now, in this exhibit, the state's attorney has burned a copy of the jail calls onto a DVD, which, as we know from my video showing the call history, is hours and hours of Jeremy speaking with Jennifer and Rania. Now, mostly Jennifer based on the log, which, is hours and hours in daily calls, so God only knows what they're actually talking about on there. I can't wait to get my hands on that. On December 21st, 2023, Detective Edwards sat for a deposition. Now, Detective Elliot Edwards is part of a team that actively monitors registered ex-offenders. This would have been fun to watch. Hopefully, after this case is wrapped up, I can get a copy of this deposition because I can't wait to hear what he has to say. As of December 12th, 2023, Jennifer was set for an oral deposition on January 8th of 2024 at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a halfway decent state's attorney. They should be able to twist Jennifer into knots. I'll be watching closely to see what she posts. Now, Jennifer, the jailhouse lawyer, loves to pretend like she knows the law just like Motor One. It's always funny when she testifies and she likes to say things like, "Can you please rephrase the question?" She's such a dummy. I wonder if she knows Jeremy spent Christmas looking happy with his wife and child, or do you think they're doing the polygamy thing again? Who knows? Now, as a side note, something I found that I thought was interesting is that Jennifer's address is part of the confidential program for DV or domestic violence. I wonder if that has to do with Jeremy based on the prior dating violence charge that he had. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. On September 28, 2023, Jeremy's probation officer sat for a deposition. Man, I really can't wait to get my hands on this one. I'm sure that this one's going to be pretty funny. Jeremy did a video about his probation officer last Christmas, which is kind of funny. I'll go ahead and insert a clip here. Now, the first part is basically some writing that Jennifer inserted into his video. Go ahead and take a look at that and let me know what you guys think. Jeremy made several personal videos before his incarceration on November 29th. Jeremy knew his probation officer was becoming unhinged, and he knew he had to protect himself. These are some of Jeremy's thoughts as he began to realize his probation officer was setting him up for failure by falsifying reports, refusing to follow Judge Roche's orders, colluding with disgraced ex-police officers, and using his personal relationship with his DOC supervisor to deceive the courts.
Which is crazy, being the fact that just like shutting down YouTube is a violation of my First Amendment. But for some reason, because I signed this deal and we can't read between the lines because the deal wasn't very clearly explained, there's been a lot of misjudgment and overstepping boundaries. And for the last two and a half months, perfect timing, by the way, to try to violate me during the holidays. And it's the slowest time, so you can't get out fast enough because technical violation, most of the time they reinstate. And he even told me it won't stick. The internet usernames won't stick, but I'll do the paperwork. You'll violate. You'll sit in jail for 30 days. And when a judge hears it and sees it, then he'll make the judgment call and probably just reinstate you, but you're going to sit in jail for 30 or 60 days. And I can't control that because you have usernames and accounts that you've never advised of, and you have to take down. Well, if they're not my accounts and I've never set them up, I can't take them down. It doesn't matter if it has my name or my face. And I explained that to him, and I even said, hey, if I right now went and made a YouTube account with your name on it and your face on it, guess what? You wouldn't be able to take it down because I made it. I was already told that I was going to violate and I would sit in jail and wait for the judge to make a decision. Don't really see how that's fair, but who says life is fair? Don't really see how that's giving somebody a second chance in life and or allowing them to do probation the way they're supposed to. Almost sounds like we're splitting hairs and nitpicking on bullshit situations because of our own personal issues in our own life. But hey, what do I know? I'm a nobody. Again, guys, just more food for thought. Motor One's moving.
Alright guys, I hope you liked that video from Jeremy the victim Dewitte. Now, the supplemental discovery filed on August 10th, 2023 is copies of YouTube videos and the ex-offender registration video that gave Jeremy the steps he needed to follow in order to file all updates and be compliant. If you remember from before, there have been several updates of YouTube videos, which means they were in fact watching Jeremy bury himself every single time he uploads a new video. I would assume they are watching Jennifer as well, since they are stuck to each other like glue. Okay, so last but not least here, pre-trial is set for a few days from now, and the actual trial is set for January 22nd of 2024. Nothing has changed yet, but the pre-trial date is typically when they ask for the trial to be pushed back, so let's watch and see, my friends. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you and hope you have a happy new year. I'm going to go ahead and include one extra little clip here at the end about Jeremy popping his riser for funsies.
Oh yeah, I've been jump certified since I was 18.
Wow.
That's why I left the Army. I had a streamer. My riser popped when I was going into Fallujah. Basically almost destroyed my back to the point where I can't even get certified as a firefighter in the state of Florida.
Hell no, nigga.